Hello, everybody, and welcome to our call tonight. I am so ecstatic for this call this evening because we have a very, very special guest, Mrs. Angela Maresca, and she's on the call with us tonight. She's going to share her incredible personal and financial transformation with us, and we'll get a chance to pick her brain a little bit. So I'm so excited. Angela is a 6-star Golden Circle, 4-star Crystal Exec. And for those of you who don't know what that means, we're looking at a residual income between $420,000 and $554,000 a year. Okay, so this is some pretty major stuff that we're looking at here. Angela was a President's Quest winner, which means that she basically qualified by being one of the 5 fastest business builders in our company. She won that incredible trip to Rome and to Paris. And she's just come back from Top Achievers. So we're just so lucky to have her with us. Angela lives in New Jersey and her beautiful new home that she just purchased, and with her beautiful family. So I have to say, and I first met you last year at Celebration, and for those of you who don't know Angela, she's probably one of the most humble people that I've ever met. I had been kind of stalking the Isagenix events pages because we were looking for a gala ticket for one of our Crystal execs who didn't get a gala ticket. There was some confusion at corporate, and I purchased a ticket through Angela, and I remember her saying to me, "Oh yeah, I bought a couple of tables. I'm getting an award." So I don't even know what it is. It's just and she totally downplayed it. It was totally humble, and then I'm at the gala and I find out that she's like, "Oh, President's Quest winner, no big deal," and a bunch of other awards I believe that you received there too. So. Just really humble and a beautiful heart, and we just really thank you for being on the call tonight. So without further ado, I'd like to bring Angela on. And Angela, if you can go ahead and just unmute yourself by pressing *6.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you perfect.
Okay.
So I thought maybe we would just start, if you could just tell us a little bit about your story, just personally, your transformation, financially, just a little bit about your journey.
Absolutely. So it's funny because I felt like you and I were meant to meet, and it was so crazy because I had this one gala ticket, and we were inboxing, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope she doesn't think I'm not going to give her her ticket, and we couldn't get in touch, we couldn't find each other in front of 10,000 people. But not only did we find each other, we've been friends and we've been in touch, and we got to hang out in Chicago and see each other in so many different places in Florida. And every time I see you guys, it's just, I feel like, reuniting with old dear friends. And
I just got the chills when you said that because I feel the same.
Yeah, so it's definitely meant to be. Out of 500,000 people, we met one another, and I think you're amazing, and I think this team is absolutely lucky because I know that there's nothing that you wouldn't do for the sake of your team. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, doll. So tell us about you. Yes.
Well, I started this program 2 years ago. January 17th, 2013. I was unhappy. I was overweight. I was stuck after my second baby, and I was a little scared because I did all my old tricks. I counted points. I was eating microwavables. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because I was close to 40 or it was after the second kid, none of my old tricks were working. Whatever I did, I would gain a pound, I would lose a pound. It was just up and down. And when I saw my friend Jennifer post something on Facebook that she was going on a cruise and she was going to do some 9-day program, I was like, I told my husband, I said, you know what, I'm going to try it. And his response to me was, another program? And
yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get it, because if Dr. Oz said to buy raspberry ketones, I mean, I'd be the first one fighting the lady down for the, for the bottle at GNC. And I was just desperate. And it's funny, but it's not funny. And people come to Isagenix because they're really at the bottom of their rope, and they have no hope. And it took me 5 days to see a difference. By day 7, I had lost 7 pounds. I felt remarkable. I felt energetic. My pants were loose, and I kept going. I found the program easy. I felt satisfied. And in 3 weeks, I lost 11 pounds, and I said, this is nuts. I want my mom to do this. She has very high cholesterol. She needs to get her health back. And, my husband drives a truck and drinks like 10 cups of coffee, 4 Red Bulls. He comes home and says, babe, I have heart palpitations.
Entry and exit chimes are off.
And,
Sorry, go ahead.
I said, you have to do this, honey. And those were really my first 2 clients, if you will, was my mom and my husband.
Yeah.
And, I think for many of us, we don't come into this program for business. We come into this because we want to feel better. We've lost hope. We're looking for a change. And, that's how it started. And in 2 months, I lost 28 pounds and 49 inches. And I went from a size 12 to a size 4. And psychologically, I don't think you can understand. Well, sure, you guys understand. You've been through it. But psychologically, what that does to somebody is it makes you feel incredible. You feel strong. You feel powerful. You realize that food doesn't have this hold over you anymore. I should also say that I come from a background of social work. I was a caseworker for child abuse, and for many years, that's what I did. But when I had my first child, I gave up my job to stay home and be a mom, because it was hard to be a mom and work those kinds of hours. Right. When I signed up my first couple of people, that feeling, that satisfaction, that feel-good emotion came right back to me again. Isagenix in the beginning, when they sent me that $212, it was fun. It was great. I could buy another program. But that's not what this was about. I had the ability in my hands to help people again. And the more people I told, the better I felt. And the more, and then they started telling people, and I had no idea that the people they told, I was going to get paid for that too. So my coach sent me a link, allinOneBusiness.net, and she said, look through some of the documents, look through Isagenixbusiness.com. And I did. I said, okay, well, I have about a week left. If I can get my mom to bring on 2, and if I can help my husband find 2, I'm going to get $450. And that was it. I mean, I never set out and said, I'm going to be a multiple 6-figure income. It really, you don't even think that way, right?
Sure.
So it was just baby steps. It was like a little fun game. I said, ooh, well, there's this crystal director thing. Maybe I can do that. And I pushed and I tried, and I was honest. I told my friend Anna, I'm like, girl, if you find 2 people, you're going to get $150, but I'm working my way to $750. So help me. Who do you know? And it was fun. It was challenging. My dear friend Anna, who was one of my first, she's a 6-figure income earner. She lost 45 pounds. And what I've come to realize is, as shy as I was about the business, I was doing a very big injustice by not telling people that there's a whole other beautiful side to this. And what this has done for my family is priceless. I went from an 800-square-foot apartment in Brooklyn, and I had no chance of getting out of there. I would have never. I was born and raised in Brooklyn my whole life. I've lived in an apartment building my whole life. In 2 years with Isagenix, I paid for 50% of my house in cash.
Oh, my God. I just have the chills again.
It's that crazy, and it doesn't get old. It never gets old. I mean, March was my highest month. I earned $46,000.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we cry a lot. We praise God a lot. We thank Jim and Kathy Coover. And you just believe that this is about helping people feel good, helping people find their way. And you know what's funny, Allison, is that the girl who told me about the program, she never signed me up. She said, talk to my friend Christine about it.
Wow. Oh, gosh. She's kicking herself.
Well, you know what? She's still selling Pampered Chef. I'm not knocking anybody, but she's selling Pampered Chef and not doing very well, whereas Christine is earned over $500,000 in 2.5 years, and I am just very close to earning that $500,000 in about 2 years. And it's fun, and it's exciting, and I have friends again, and I have a social life, and you get to go to meetings, and you get to it's been priceless. My girls have a pool. Like we used to have to swim at the community pool.
Now, Angela, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, you're the first person in your family to purchase a home? Is that true?
No, they had a home. We lived in an apartment building, and then my parents moved to Staten Island. I never moved because I said there's no way I'm moving to Brooklyn, and I stayed I had my apartment. But I am I am a first-generation American, and this is completely novel to most immigrant families.
Absolutely.
My stepfather was very firm, and he said, you have to go to college. And I went to college. He said, it's not good enough. You have to get your master's. And I did, and he said, still not good enough. And I was halfway done with my PhD when I got married and had a baby. And they said, well, you can't, you can't go full-time for a PhD if you're planning on having a family, and responsibilities change. And I left my city job, $77,000 in student debt. Because
no more.
Of all that education that my father pushed me, go to school, go to more school. But the thing is that times have changed, and I know that through the eyes of an immigrant, maybe they don't see this, or network marketing is not familiar. But, you go to school all these years, the opportunity don't come a-knocking.
No.
It doesn't anymore. And those doors that, you think are going to be waiting for you are not. And I tell my daughter, I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they're like, wow, this is incredible, we have a house. We're all very appreciative because it happened so fast. But I tell my kids, I want you to be able to do whatever you want in this life as long as you help people. Just help people. But it's nice that with this company, I mean, it's a legacy company. It's not only going to secure my kids' future, but it's going to secure their children's future. And it's nice as a mom to think that my girls will be able to do something that they're passionate about and not get stuck with a job that they can't stand, and that makes me feel good.
Well, and I love how, you always come from a place of abundance. And you really, when you said that it's not about the money. The money is great and wonderful, and that'll allow you to do all kinds of great things and live a wonderful life. But your why, your focus really does have to be bigger than that. And the money is just kind of like the thing that comes along with helping people, as a byproduct of helping people. But that primarily, that is, when you come from that kind of a place, that's where abundance is.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Angela, every time I turn on Facebook, you're congratulating somebody on rankin dancing. So let's get into the nuts and bolts here. Very often I hear from people that they're on my team that they're frustrated because their cleansers are having a good experience. but they're not interested in sharing. So, this is like your thing, really not only helping yourself to rank advanced, but by helping other people rank advanced and share this amazing opportunity. So take us through your process of getting people excited about sharing. You enroll someone in Isagenix, now what do you do? What comes next?
We really focus on working together. And I have a strong policy of leave no man behind. If somebody wants it, I will never say no to a 3-way phone call, to a 5-day phone call, to a call with a new prospect. And I think it's important for everyone on the team to get a sample, several samples of how I do these prospecting calls, of how, Ed on our team, of, you really have to get a taste of everyone's style before you develop your own. But what I really find is that it works strength in numbers. And that's how it is. And, like when you do that introductory call, like you're like, oh, my God, Mom, I'm a health coach. I have this great program. Your mom's going to be like, Allie, who are you kidding? You're not a health coach. You know what I mean? Whereas if you say, Mama, I have my friend Angela. She's coached more than 500 people. She can explain the program better than you. All of a sudden, now you're bringing an expert onto that call. And not only does it build validity, credibility, but it's really, it's for you to learn too. So on our team, we really do focus on working together and helping one another. What we do is called the 5 simple touches, and it's really sharing versus selling. So as leaders, it's important to be intentional about your business. So once I enroll someone, I have an Excel spreadsheet, and I ensure that I do these 5 simple touches. So when you have their credit card information and when they're all ready to sign up and they're excited, you just briefly mention, say, oh, and by the way, if you refer 2 friends, the company is going to give you back $150. Or if they sign up with the President's Pack, you say $370 if they share it with 2 friends. But you say, don't worry, you won't have to do anything. If you have someone who's interested, don't say anything, just connect them to me. That's it. You take the pressure off of them. That's the first simple touch. Then once they receive the box and you're walking them through the program, you're basically showing them the manage auto ship, the back office, and you're going to touch upon the placement tree. Very briefly, you're going to say, oh, and by the way, here's where you would put one person on the left and one person on the right. Remember those 2 friends I told you about? And then if you want to expedite it, you can offer an extra $50 if they do it within their first week as a Crystal Consultant bonus.
Sure.
Then on day 5, that's the excitement call. That's when, you're calling them to go over the cleanse days. But it's one of the most important calls because by day 5, they're feeling amazing. They're feeling the benefits, but they still remember feeling like crap 5 short days ago. So this is always done with another person on the phone. So I would bring in like Ed. He's great. He's excited. He's going to get them laughing and joking, saying, come on, girl, I know you cheated and got on the scale. Who do you know? Who do you know that wants to feel like this? And it's fun. It's taking the pressure off of them. It's bringing another person in to lighten up the call. And then on day 8, my client is asked to check in with me and give me their weekly results, and that's the 4th touch. I ask permission if I can shout them out on the group, if I can shout them out on their personal page, and I say, if you're feeling fabulous, I'd like for you to put up a post on Facebook. and then I prepare them for what's to come. We work on the Facebook post together. I prepare them for the questions and the messages that are going to come, and I always tell them not to answer any questions publicly, just to inbox the person privately and say, you know what, I'm totally new. Let me know when you can chat, and I'll get my good friend Ange on the phone. That's the fourth exposure. And then I would say by week 2 or by week 3, you know, when the auto ship is about to come, you know, if they have no interest in telling anyone and they're doing great, I mean, I would continue to check in on them. We would talk about the auto ship that's going out. I would speak to them about Isagenix, not just being for weight loss, but really maintaining a healthy lifestyle. I would offer one more time to help them get their products for free, and if not, I would ask for referrals.
Okay. Now, do you kind of, you of course will stay in touch with them in their cleansing process after the 30 days, but do you ever then go back to them, you know, or you have kind of, you just sort of feel that out in terms of sharing, like, hey, girl, you've been doing it for 2 months now. How about we find you 2 people or something? Or do you just sort of play that organically with that person?
I kind of play it out depending on the person. There's certainly, you know, when people ask me, should I try this? Should I do that? Should I place an ad here? What can I, you know, the worst thing they can say is no. I tell people try everything. You can never be wrong.
Right. Right.
There's no harm. There's no harm in speaking to someone on month 2, month 3. You've been doing great. I'm sure people are noticing. They're asking you. Talk to me about what's going on. You know, Are you interested? I can help you. Sometimes all it takes is an extra $400 a month to change someone's financial situation. You know, and you really have to think about that. It's a big deal, you know. So you want to talk to everyone. You want to open their options, and you know, just let them know that you're there to support them no matter what.
Okay. So, it sounds like you're really focusing mostly on the product experience and almost letting the sharing kind of organically fall into place by continuing to do these touches with them and drip on them and let them know that it's an option without being like, hey, let's build a business, you know, from day one kind of thing.
Yes.
Is that okay? And then, so
yes,
on that day
absolutely.
5. Yeah. Okay, good. That's great. That's very much in line with my beliefs as well. So on that day 5 call, is that a scheduled call that you have with them, or are you just popping on the line with one of your teammates and just calling them?
I'll be honest with you. When I talk about the shake day with them, I let them know that Sunday is their cleanse day, and I'll be calling them on Saturday to prepare them. You know, so whatever time we talk, but absolutely they need to know that I'm going to be calling because I mean, listen, they need me to walk them through that cleanse day. And you know, either you can tell them that you're going to be calling with a coach, or you can say, hey Jen, I brought in my good buddy Ed. He's lost a ton of weight. He's helped so many people, and I just wanted to bring in one more person to offer you support. You know, when you're doing things to help them, they are more inclined to accept the assistance. When you're doing things for your own selfish needs, somebody is not going to be as willing to listen. But so everything I do is really around the theory of this is to support you, this is to help you, this is going to, you know, make you feel more comfortable. Yes,
perfect. Love it. So you're incredible at developing these later as well. I mean, you know, you've got 2 stars, 3 stars, you know, all across your whole team. And I don't know, I'm talking to PK. I think he said it was 19 crystal directors that you turned out this 90-day game plan. Is that true?
19 like crystal directors, yeah.
Incredible. So do you have some kind of a mentoring process that you use with people to help them get there, or are you using different tools, launch parties, webinars? What would you say is kind of accounting for that incredible success with helping people stay there?
We put out a call to action in the cleanse group and the leaders group, and we asked who wanted to lock arms and come running. And that was it. We had approximately, I was working with David Norrie as well. He had about 19 people, and we had about 70 people in the group. And, out of those 70, 19 of them worked their tushies off and made it. Not everybody did. And we had prizes, and we had weekly calls, and we had competitions.
Okay. So, okay, great. And do you normally do a weekly call with your team?
I do. Every Wednesday I have a leadership call. Last night we had Kirsty Cody on. And every Sunday I do a systems call where we talk about different things, how to handle objections, how to take someone through the back office, how to enroll new members, how to do a 3-way phone call, how to post on Facebook, anything that I think will be helpful to new people. Sure,
great. And then how do you typically support your cleansers? Is that in terms of, are you just utilizing the tool that Isagenix gives us, the manual that comes in your box? Do you have your own manual or welcome letter or something to kind of point them in the direction, that they would need for support?
We have our own welcome letter. We have our cleanse group. We have a modified food list. The food list is a little bit more rigid, a little bit more, stricter than what comes in their manual. Our cleanse days are on days 6 and 7 and 13 and 14. I mean, very similar with a few tweaks, but it's important to walk them through the program anyway. I mean, it's not just about shakes. You want people to understand that shakes is one component, but they also have to be making healthier, cleaner choices. I mean, instead of a can of ragu sauce, they need to start making their own fresh. And what I tell them, it's about cutting the chemicals out and putting the good nutrition in.
Love it.
Yep.
That's great. Well, I'm always, whenever I'm on Facebook, and you do an incredible job with social media, and, you're always posting pictures as a friend, as a wife, as a mom, and, you're an incredible mother. I'm always seeing those pictures of your coaching soccer and spending time with the kids, and I know that you brought your daughter to Paris on your trip that you went to Isagenix. So, we've got a lot of moms in the group, and people who just kind of want to know how you are able to balance your work with your family, because I know that's always a tough one. There's always kind of a fine line there of how do you have those boundaries. Do you have anything specific, boundaries that you like to keep?
After going to Top Achievers, I realized that it was very important to work on me. And from 9 to 11:30, I've decided to commit to my mind. We're taking a training course right now online. I've committed to doing an hour of exercise, which is not something I enjoy doing, but I have to do it if I'm going to work for a wellness company. So from 9 to 11:30, I'm not going to be taking any calls for the next month. But then I take calls from about 11:30 to 4. I kind of multitask. The baby comes home from preschool at about 12:30. So I'm serving her lunch. We're playing. She'll be outside. I'll be with her, but I'll be on the phone. And then I try to make a little family time. It depends. It depends on the numbers.
Sure.
Sometimes I work, and I push, and I hit a goal, and then other times I have to take a break. So this week I'm really pushing it to get some better numbers, and then next week I'll work a little bit less. My schedule won't look as busy, but at this week I just said to myself that if anybody asks me for help, if anyone asks for a call, I'm just not going to say no. This week I'm doing like 11 calls a day. I'm working on speaking to new prospects and building up my right leg, and it's even doesn't matter what the stars are, you're always pushing yourself to the next rank. You're always hoping to get better, and this week I've been talking to all my consultants and bringing back the information that we took home from Top Achievers and trying to fire them up for celebration.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's your business, there is no schedule. When you got to work, you work, and when your family needs some time, you make the time. And it's just it's nice to be able to do that. It's nice to sit in the backyard with the kids and be able to take a phone call while they're playing. And, if Isabella has to study for a test, I can not schedule a call during that time so we can, spend time together. It's just freedom. It's freedom to run the show when you feel like it, how you feel like it, the way you feel like it. It's about not having a dress code. I've literally been living like in spandex pants and a tank top for 2 years. There's no dress code. Sometimes I work with no bra on, with my hair in a bun. It's just about freedom to run the show on your terms. And that's what I love about this.
When we were in our 90-day game plan, I would check in with people and ask if they had showered, and they had showered, and they weren't working hard because it's like there'd be 3 days where I just didn't shower, and I was like, all right, well, I guess getting stuff done, right? So it's kind of like our, you always see those videos that Isagenix puts up, and Peter Kelly and everybody's got their hair in a bun, and they look like they haven't showered in days, and they're working. But sometimes that's what you got to do to get it done.
That's what you have to do.
But I love how you incorporate the family, how you took them to Top Achievers, and like I mentioned, you're taking your daughter to Paris, and so you really kind of make it, it's not just for you; it's a whole family thing, and everybody's benefiting from it. So it's helpful, in terms of needing to take a call when kids are around or whatever, things like that. When you get them involved.
Crazy? I worked for Child Protective Services, and they were not interested at all in families. So it's weird, like you're servicing other families, but when it came to working moms working for the city, there was no daycare. There was no flex time. They didn't allow you to bring your children to the nursery. It was really difficult, and I loved that job. And one thing that I love about Isagenix is that Kathy is genuine, is loving. Isagenix is all about family. Like Top Achievers, there was not supposed to be any children in the room, and the little one had strep. She had a fever, and my husband was sleeping with her. I felt bad, and I asked Chris Nish, is it okay if I bring Isabella? Of course. Like, for them, it's family first. When I said that my husband was going to stay with the baby and I was going to bring my 8-year-old to Paris, no kids have ever gone on a President's Quest. But they made an exception. And when it comes to families, they always put families first. They really, really do. And I love that.
I love that. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, any books, podcasts, resources, anything that has particularly inspired you, helped you along the way, things to check out, look at?
I still review isagenixbusiness.com. I still listen to isagenixpodcast.com. I love David Wood's Amplified Leadership Network.
Nice.
I talk to people. When you go to Celebration, just talk to people. Get to events, because those little nuggets of information that you hear in the hallway, that you pick up from someone in the bathroom, like, you know what, it's nuts, but Zach and Eden recommended PK to me at the last Top Achievers. And it's been our 1-year anniversary, mine and PK, and what a wonderful relationship. He's like a dad, a mentor. He's you know, but, you know, these are little things that you just pick up along the way. And whatever you need to do, just believe in yourself. For some, it happens fast. For others, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't matter. The only ones who fail are the ones who throw in the towel. Anyone who keeps going, it'll happen. It will happen.
Yes. And just one last question, Angela. What would you say to somebody new just getting started building the business? What are kind of the first things they need to do to get started? When you've got somebody who's excited, where are you pointing them to start building?
Make a list of 20 people that you know who you can help with health, with wealth, with weight loss, with energy. Get your coach on the phone. Have your coach do the first 5 3-way phone calls with you so you can listen to the verbiage, so you can listen to the presentation. Go to Isagenix Business. Start learning. Go to Isagenix Podcast. Listen to a Wealth Creation. I mean, all the big dogs, they're giving away their secrets as to how they do it. So I listen to a Wealth Creation, and I listen to a Science Talk, because the Science Talks make you seem really smart. So when you listen to a podcast and then you can be like, well, undenatured whey protein is cold processed, you can throw in a few big words and sound like you know what you're talking about.
Right. Sure. No, I hear you. Well, and so when you have them make the list and you get on, you're actually sitting with them and calling their list with them and introducing them to Isagenix? Is that how you do that?
They would really develop their 30-second story. I would like to help them do that. So, hey, you know, my name is Allison. Well, you're basically calling your friends, and you're just being real, and you're just saying, my gosh, Jen, it's, 1 week, and I've already dropped 7 pounds. I felt so tired before, and now I'm feeling amazing. When are you available? I think this would be perfect for you. I'd love to get my friend Ange on the phone.
Okay, so you're not actually on the phone with them doing that initial conversation.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
We had talked with TK about that earlier, and I think there was a misunderstanding of that. Thank you for clarifying that. That makes sense.
Yeah. So once
and then they just schedule the 3-way.
Yes, they're the ones that have to schedule the 3-way. They're the ones that are going to get their friend excited, and they're the ones that are going with permission to get me on the phone call. And once they get me on the call, they would edify me, and as the one who knows what she's talking about, and that's it. And then I'll go over the program. I'll explain everything to the best of my ability, and I feel like it's a lot stronger.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And then are you having them take a look at some videos before they get on a 3-way, or do you utilize that at all?
No.
Okay.
Some people use the 3-way as some people use the videos as a first resort. I use the videos as a last resort. I say get me on the phone first.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. Well, you've given us a whole lot to think about, and I so appreciate your time. I can't even tell you. Any last words of wisdom? Anything we didn't cover that you think would be helpful?
I think that the people who do the best on this program are the ones not who are most knowledgeable, not who has a background in science or nutrition. I think the people who do best with Isagenix financially are the ones who love it, are the ones who are very passionate about it. And every single person that I have signed up, I've never done with a cheat sheet or anything like that. Everyone that I've ever spoken to has always been from the bottom of my heart, because I love this program and I believe in this program and I want to help somebody else. And I think that when you are coming from a place of love, there is nothing wrong that you can say. Get all those silly things out of your head, because it's not true. The worst thing that they can say is no. And it's not no against you. It's not no to you. It just means that they're not ready yet. And that's okay, because I didn't say yes on my first try, and maybe you didn't either. So, just remember that.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Took me at least a year of arguing with my physical
year.
therapist.
You see, some people, I mean, my friend Patty was watching me for 14 months. She made up every excuse in the book. And, when she was ready, she took her water jug, an empty Poland Spring water bottle, emptied all the change, and bought herself a program. And I just thought to myself, you know what? When somebody is ready, they are ready. And there's nothing you can do but just stay the course. Be consistent. Keep talking. Keep posting. Don't let a few no's break you down. Don't, because we all hear no's. In my heart, I always remind myself they're just not there yet. That's it.
Right. Keep the door open and the relationship. It's all about relationships.
Always,
and
always.
Being
when
there
they
with
need
open
me,
arms.
I'm there.
Right. Yep. Well, thank you again, Angela, so much for sharing your story with us. It's been just a fantastic night, so inspiring as always. You're such a role model for me. You might not know that, but you really are, and for so many people. So again, we really appreciate that. And
makes me want to say, who, me?
I know, right? What?
Thank you. That really means
you.
a lot. Thank you. I'm honored. That really means a lot. I would be more than happy to answer any questions from the team. Anything I can do for you anytime, you let me know.
Thank you so much, Angela.
My pleasure.
Take care and get back to your gorgeous family.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.